Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes. For today's video, I came across a Bleacher Report article titled "Every NBA Team's Biggest Flaw Heading into Training Camp." I thought NBA 2K19 would actually be the better way to talk about this article because, you know, we can look at rosters and stuff like that too and kind of talk about some of these things. But I am going to link the article into the description of this video if you guys do want to read that or follow along as I go through this video right here. But yeah, man, so we're going to go through each one and every single one of these flaws. I'm going to see if I agree or disagree. If I do disagree, maybe I'll say like what I think their actual big time flaw is. So the first couple of teams, the first 7 teams we have, these are known as the 1%er problems, like teams that you just, you know, for the sake of the article, you got to think of something, right? But in reality, not too many issues going on. So the first one listed is the Boston Celtics, and their biggest issue listed on here is a shooting specialist. So just somebody on this team that is just known for 3-point shooting or, you know, mid-range shooting, somebody like a JJ Redick or a Kyle Korver. That's just like their natural thing out there. Of course, you got shooters in Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, but all these guys do other things really well out there also. So, I mean, like, yeah, I actually would like to see them go off and maybe get like a Kyle Korver or somebody like that. Just at times, maybe a late game situation, you need somebody like space the floor. And maybe you don't want like Marcus Smart in there. But as far as like shooting as a whole for this team, no, man, they're good to go. So no wonder they're a 1%er. Yeah. For the Golden State Warriors, that is the next team listed, and their big thing listed is second unit shooting. So let's pull up this team right here. The thing about their second unit, it's like, yeah, you got Andre Iguodala. He's definitely not as good as he was. Shaw Livingston's not on Florida Space's. Jordan Bell, I think potentially could become a better shooter, but something you got to work on. Jerome Jerebko, he can knock down through every now and then. Quinn Cook's definitely a solid shooter. But yeah, the thing is with this team though, man, is that you're rarely going to see a lineup that has all 5 bench players in at one time. Think about it like this, man. If DeMarcus Cousins and Kevin Durant want to go rest, you still got Curry and Clay. If Klay Thompson and Curry want to go rest, you got Durant and DeMarcus out there, you know, guys like that. So I mean, yes, that is a big issue, is that they don't really have a lot of offensive firepower, but you literally have a super team in your starting 5. They'll be just fine. Next up, we have the Houston Rockets. So let's pull them up. Theirs is listed as declining defensive versatility. So of course the big thing here was losing Trevor Ariza, also Luke Makabuke. I would say his damn bitch ass name, dude. I can't say his name. And of course, getting like Carmelo Anthony, he's not really known as a big time defensive player, right? Like his versatility, Carmelo Anthony's not gonna bring much to the table. He'll play defense, it's just not gonna be amazing. But you also got like PJ Tucker, who I think could definitely fill that void that Trevor Ariza left on the team with doing that. James Ennis, I feel like has potential also, man. He's what, 6'7". I think he's quick on his feet. He could be a good defensive player. So it's like, yes, you did lose something with losing those other guys, but it's all about the other guys on this team stepping up and kind of filling those new voids out there. Next up, we have the Toronto Raptors, and their thing listed is small ball rebounding. So assuming you want to run a small man rotation, probably with like Serge Ibaka at the center, Pascal Siakam at the power forward position, they all of a sudden look at their rebounding abilities, you know, listed as a B- rating wise. For a center /power forward type of players out there, it's not exactly what you want. Of course, the Jonas Valanciunas listed as an A+, right? Fred VanVleet, I don't believe he's an amazing rebounder. Last year averaged about 2 per game. Siakam was at, you know, 4 or 5 rebounds, although I do think, no pun intended, he could take the biggest leap right there from a rebounding standpoint. Serge Ibaka at the power forward position, just a basic rebounder himself. So yeah, definitely something they can improve on. Having Greg Monroe off the bench though, he can definitely get down off the glass. So you don't typically use Greg Monroe in a small ball lineup though. So I guess that's kind of what they're talking about here, man. It's like, yeah, they got rebounders off their bench. Just if you're really trying to match up some of those small ball teams, how exactly do you work it? All right, next up, we have the, it's probably not the end of the world. These are 7 teams right there where it's like, yes, there's some things out there that they could improve on, but it's not the end of the world. And the first team we have is the Denver Nuggets. So let me pull them up real quick. And this is the absence of bigger wings. So yes, this team definitely lost some height this past offseason with Wilson Chandler, I believe, being traded or signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. And now, you know, as a result, they are going to be running Will Barton, who is 6'6", at the small forward position, probably in this case. And at least until Michael Porter, you know, is really good to go and be that starting small forward. Isaiah Thomas, the backup point guard, he definitely did not bring you height. Not that he's not going to wing or nothing like that. But yeah, man, so this team definitely lacks a little height out there at times, which can be a bad thing, all things considered. Especially, you know, with perimeter shooting being such an all-time high in the NBA, you really do want wings out there that can at least put a hand in some of the guys' face out there, right? Next up, we have the Los Angeles Lakers. And for the Lakers, as we pull them up, their biggest problem is a shallow center rotation. Starting center, probably going to be JaVale McGee, and then you got Zubac. Both serviceable, good centers. I mean, they're okay. You know, they're good role player centers. But yes, from a starting standpoint, not really a guy I would want starting on my team. Although I feel like JaVale McGee, he's got potential to be a solid starting center out there. I mean, you look at his NBA career going back to like the Denver, Washington days. He had a few double-digit scoring seasons. Rebounding was decent. He's not going to be asked to do a ton out there, but you know, man, I feel like him in the pick and roll with LeBron James has some good potential right there. So, yeah, I definitely see him. If they do make a big-time trade, I can see them definitely looking for another center. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks, and their biggest issue list on this article is backcourt depth. So the starting guards, you know, Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton. Also, although if Giannis goes to the 4, then Chris Middleton will probably be a 3. And then you're looking at Brogdon probably starting as shooting guard. So let's assume they go with that lineup, and Brogdon's not a bench player, former rookie of the year, so that is bench depth. So beyond those guys, yeah, you got Dellavedova, who I don't remember the last time he's done anything. Last year, averaged 4 points, 4 assists. That's not too bad, I guess. Tony Snell, last season, decent score, shot 4% from 3, but he's not really, I mean, I guess he could play shooting guard. Listed as a small forward, though. So yeah, we'll see how Dante does as a rookie in the NBA. I'm not really expecting a lot from him this NBA season, but the potential to be good is there if he takes it. All right, next thing we have is the New Orleans Pelicans. So for the Pelicans, starting with a P, they are listed as having, their issue is being wing depth. So yeah, the bulk of this team is the power forward position. And of course, you know, Anthony Davis and Julius Randle can both play center. But you look at small forwards, shooting guards, you know, the wings out there, the 6'7" plus guys that can knock down shots to play defense, they simply don't have. Etuan Moore, he's 6'4", so it's that, damn, dude, that rhymed. Darius Miller, like, he was good last NBA season. Before that, he was a nobody, so we'll see if he can definitely pick up from his success last year. Solomon Hill, just, oh my god, dude, he's going to need to step up or do something, especially for that paycheck he's getting out there. This team definitely needs some more lengthy shooting guard / small forwards on the team, though. All right, next up, we have the Utah Jazz. And their biggest issue listed is a steady number 2 scoring option. So, of course, the guy that outside Donovan Mitchell can pick up the scoring slack. Gobert, he's a defensive guy. He definitely gets it done on the inside, man. 14 points per game, so that's not bad. I think Derek Favors has potential to be that guy. Like, I know he's listed as an F 3-point shot, but last NBA season it said, what, 22%? He was knocking down a few times in the playoffs, so I think that's something he can definitely add to his game. I still think Derek Favors, you know, I mean, it shows right there, man. He could be a 16-point-per-game scorer, which is exactly what this team needs. It's for him to be that big-time scorer. Ricky Rubio, you can't really expect a lot from Joe Ingles at this point in his NBA career, just a 3-and-D player. So, yeah, man, they definitely need that number 2 scoring option alongside Donovan Mitchell. But if all these guys can at least put in, like, somewhat of a decent scoring resume, I don't think it's that big a deal. All right, next up, for the next 7 teams, we have, or I don't know if it's 7 teams. Yeah, it says, yeah, my bad, guys. The article is kind of wonky here. It says, this might fix itself. That's, like, the header of this. We have the Brooklyn Nets, and their issue, and I don't know how this is going to fix itself unless they get Jimmy Butler, which at the making of this video, the train has not gone down yet. It still says, still without an obvious cornerstone piece. So a guy on this team that's like, all right, that's who we are going to build around. That is the future of this team. Do you guys feel like D'Lo could be that piece? I mean, at this point, I don't see him being the number 1 option on a championship team. I see him more like a 3rd option probably, like, you know, a point guard that can definitely lead the way. But his field goal percentage is horrendous, like, especially being the guy that, you know, he only averaged, what, 5 assists a game last season, so he has got a lot more work to do from an efficiency standpoint. So, yeah, they definitely do not have that piece yet. But as this team starts getting their draft picks back, we will definitely find that within the next few NBA seasons. For the Dallas Mavericks, we have it listed as wing depth. So, once again, like, I don't know, man. I guess I don't really know if I agree with this one all that much. I think they're talking more from, like, a small forward, power forward standpoint. Thing is, though, is that Doncic, he could play probably any of the 3 positions from a point guard to a small forward. Harrison Barnes, I mean, he's a nice, you know, wing player out there. Dirk Nowitzki, at the age of 40, 41, what more can we expect from him? Wesley Matthews, last NBA season, actually a pretty good resume. So, he's only 6'5", though, so he's not like a lengthy wing player out there, nothing like that. So, yeah, they definitely could pick up a few pieces out there. You got Dorian Finney-Smith. It's like, once again, the potential is there for that position to be filled by a guy that's already on the team. It's just a matter if he takes on the challenge or not. For the Indiana Pacers, we have this listed as, let me pull them up real quick here. Indiana Pacers, this is defensive switchability. So the ability for your guys to go out there and be able to switch on defense. I mean, yeah, it says itself. And by that means having like a small forward that can guard shooting guards / power forwards and small forwards, a shooting guard that can, guard one of 3 positions. Really guys that can guard, at least 3 positions. And they don't really have that. I mean, Tyreek Evans could. I mean, I feel like he could guard a point guard through small forward just because due to his length. Miles Turner, do y'all feel like he's quick enough to guard like small forwards? Probably not. I mean, on a switch, I guess in some scenarios, probably. Sabonis, he's your traditional power forward out there, can guard centers too. So Thaddeus Young could probably guard small forwards, through power forwards. But yeah, not a lot of like big time switchability players out there. But I don't know. I don't think that's that big of a deal. For the 76ers, we have, this is something I wanted them to address. They really did not this offseason, and that is a bench shooting / scoring. So I believe, Ilyasova is now off this team. I mean, he was a big time shooter for them in the playoffs. You have JJ Redick, who's going to be the starter, so you don't really get the bench player right there. Wilson Chandler, last NBA season, 10 points per game, so we could bring a little bit of offense to the bench. Markelle Fultz potentially still could, unless they decide to start him. We'll see about that. But even if they decide to start Markelle Fultz, then Sarge goes to the bench, he becomes that player. Or maybe JJ Redick goes to the bench, he becomes that player. So they do have the opportunities. Once again, Markelle Fultz, I'm really curious to see what type of scoring he could bring to the bench. For the Washington Wizards, and we got to go all the way to W in this case. The big issue with them, here we go, man. The big issue with them, it says, is an unreliable bench. From a starter standpoint, I like what I see. Austin Rivers, what do you want? I mean, 42% field goal percentage is not really fantastic. So yes, I guess I can see where you can say that's like unreliable. Like, what type of Austin Rivers are you going to get game in, game out? Is it going to be a guy that can drop you 15 points, or is it going to be somebody that, maybe is a little streaky at times? Markieff Morris, he'll probably actually be starting, of course. Kelly Oubre, he was a decent scorer for them last season. Once again, though, kind of a lower field goal percentage. Tomas, I feel like he can be very nice for this team off the bench. He started at times for them. So, yeah, I don't know if I really agree with this one all that much. I feel like this team is actually looking just fine out there. I would say their biggest issue is obviously health related. Okay, so for the next one we have, this title is listed as, Hey, Rebuilding Happens. And the first team we have listed is the Atlanta Hawks. Let's pull them up. It says front court defense. Yeah, John Collins, I feel like, has pretty good potential as a defensive player. Averaged 1 block per game last season. And then beyond that, Alex Len, not really feeling too much from him. Dwayne Dedmon, I mean, not really. So yeah, they definitely need a big time like shot blocking center / power forward that's not named John Collins. All right, next up we have the New York Knicks. And for this is a big fancy bitch ass word, guys. It says an ambiguous offensive pecking order. So I think about this, they're assuming that Kristaps Porzingis might miss the entire season. So it's like, okay, what is our starting 5 for a team that we need freaking offense from? Like, how are we going to get scoring from this team? Where are we going to get it from? What's the lineup we go with? Kevin Knox potentially could be the leading scorer of this team, because I feel like they're going to run things through him. I really feel like them knowing that this team is not going to have Kristaps Porzingis, they're going to give this dude a ton of reps out there and maybe just tank. Like, it's going to be a low-key tank, but I can see that happening. Tim Hardaway, you can get some scoring from him. Enes Kanter can get it done at times. Averaged 14 points last season. But yeah, it's like, what's like the sure thing starting 5 lineup you are going with if you need offense? All right, next we have the Phoenix Suns. To make in this video, this might have been solved, and that is an unproven point guard rotation. Well, right now there is talks of them getting like Jeff Teague, which would definitely help out. But even from like a backup point guard standpoint, like let's not talk starting point guard, which this team does not have. Even a backup point guard gives you issue because you don't have one. You have Eli Okubo, who I think potentially could become a good backup point guard in the future, but he's not there yet. He's just a rookie, right? So, I mean, yeah, man, like this team, you gotta have point guards. You gotta have it, or just everything is just gonna go wrong. All right, this next one we have is feel free to worry. And we have the Charlotte Hornets listed up. And for them, feel free to worry about, it says being small ball unfriendly. Not having a small ball lineup. And they don't. Cody Zeller, you cannot use him in a small ball lineup, just not quick enough. Marvin Williams, it's like he's a good stretch big out there, but you can't really use him in small ball. Frank Kaminsky, you can put him at center. And then he become like a stretch 5, which I guess could work in a small ball scenario. Billy Hernan-Gomez, not that type of player. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, put him at power forward, I guess. But yeah, I'm not really seeing much of a small ball lineup in this case either. Okay, next we have the Los Angeles Clippers. And this says an excess of one-way players. So pretty much guys that are good at either offense or either defense or either, making a play out there, but can't really do a little bit of everything. Tobias, definitely more offensive base. Lou Williams, offensive base. Patrick Beverley, known for his defense. Bradley, as of right now, known for his defense. Gallinari, stretch big, offensively. Marcin Gortat, just a bitch ass. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just... No, I'm sorry. Yeah, but no, it does make sense. This team, they don't really have a lot of good two-way players. Memphis Grizzlies for the next team here, man. I think we're starting to get near the end somewhat. If you are still watching this video, guys, let me know in the comment section below because you're the real MVP. Memphis Grizzlies, it says not enough volume wing shooters. So, guys, from a small forward shooting guard standpoint, that can just get you buckets. Kyle Anderson, offensively, he's not going to bring you much. Like, yes, he can knock. Damn, that dude got a freaking round-ass head, dude. That is a round-ass head. I'm just saying. Chandler Parsons, I feel like could be, like, if it was going back to his days with the Houston Rockets, but he's fallen off big time. Dylan Brooks, this guy shows good potential. I thought he had a fantastic rookie season. I expect his scoring to actually go up a little bit, man. I can see him averaging around 14 points per game if he puts all things together. So, yeah, once again, man, there's the pieces here. Just who wants to step up and do it. Okay, we have the OKC Thunder, and this is a big-time issue, man, that you are about to hear about when I go to the team. And that is a dearth of off-ball shooters. Basically guys that can shoot off ball, because last year Paul George shot 42% off ball. That's fantastic, probably like one of the one of the best players in the NBA at that. Alex Sabrina's at about 40%, and then you go beyond that and it's just not looking too good. Like Dennis Schroeder, he's not going to shoot off ball. He's not that type of player. Roberson could shoot off ball, but he's going to freaking break into the damn 10th row. Jeremy Grant, not much of a shooter. Raymond Felton, I mean, he's a point guard, right? So yeah, outside of like both those two guys we listed, for a team that you run the offense through Russell Westbrook, that's kind of concerning. You want catch-and-shoot players. You want guys that can stretch the floor out and allow the lane to be open for Russell Westbrook, or guys that are just going to collapse in on him, right? All right, next up we have the San Antonio Spurs. And, see, that's why I don't really like the titles, like the head titles of these, man, because the Spurs are obviously not in a rebuild. But theirs is listed as a lack of three-point shooting. I mean, you can look at the three-point ratings right here. It's like, yeah, that's a big-time issue. DeMar DeRozan, he can knock down if he's wide open every now and then. LaMarcus Aldridge, I actually thought he was a better three-point shooter. Like, what happened to this DeMar DeRozan shooting 40, or to this LaMarcus shooting 41%? Shot 29% last year. Potential is there to make him. Pau Gasol, I mean, he can knock him down, but he's going to get you what? Like maybe like one or two attempts a game. This is what makes me nervous. It's DeJounte Murray and DeMar DeRozan in the backcourt, because that's not great from a stretching out the floor standpoint. Patty Mills can knock down Mark Bellinelli's fine. But yeah, it's definitely, you look at the starting five, it is a big concern. You got to think about that as a Spurs fan. All right, next up, this next lining is, look, they wouldn't be good anyway. And this is the Chicago Bulls. So I think actually could be like an 8th seed in the playoffs, man. I think they could make the playoffs if their if the rookie pans out. This is perimeter defense. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know if I totally agree with this. Chris Dunn, he's a good perimeter point guard. Zach LaVine, I feel like athletically could stay with this guy out there. I'm sure he's not like known for his defense, but you know, I think he'd be okay. And I feel like Wendell Carter, being 6'10", I feel like he's got pretty good switchability capabilities out there, man. So I feel like I would not have an issue with Wendell like having to like switch out on a point guard or shooting guard every now and then. Like if that were to happen, I would be like, oh my god, this is just completely over with. So yeah, it looks like Jordan Parry got a C for. Okay, maybe Zach LaVine is a bitch ass defender. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about in that case. You look at the ratings though, outside of Chris Dunn, it's not really listed very well. All right, now we got the Orlando the Orlando Magic. And this says a lack of point guard prospects. What y'all talking about, man? Y'all got the GOAT, DJ Augustine. Yeah, this team has no point guards. They have not really had a point guard since Jameer Nelson 30 years ago. Not that long ago, obviously, but not a lot of good prospects. Jeremy Grant, he's what, 26 at this point, proving to me nothing more than maybe a role player. So they don't have it yet. They're going to be in the lottery. Sacramento Kings. Bro, this one actually, like, mind-boggling me. Not the headline, but something they almost did. And this is listed as a big man, a logjam. That is just having way too many big guys on this team and not enough minutes to play them. Look at all those power forwards. This team actually, there was rumor, maybe it did happen at the point of this video, of actually them acquiring Gorgui Dieng from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Another center, man. Not to mention that, but also $17 million a season. Y'all don't need no more big guys. You need some more guards. You need a backup point guard. You got Yogi Ferrell, who's decent. And that's it. All right, next up we have, this is listed as smells like downfall. Like, this team is just not going to do anything. Okay. So the team listed here, excuse me, guys. Trying to clear my throat, man. Y'all, there's a lot of bitch ass talking here, bro. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers that's listed as, and this is that their issue is they don't have the off the bounce shot making. So a guy that can just go out there and create a shot for himself. Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood, I mean, if he can go back to his Utah Jazz days, he could be that player. You know, there's no pressure on this team now. Who knows what Colin Sexton could be, because I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Colin Sexton can have a really good rookie season. I feel like he could be that player for this team, so we'll see about that. And then we got my Detroit Pistons. This one I don't agree with at all, by the way. And this says their biggest issue is floor spacing. I don't understand it, because Drummond, as right now, man, he said on Twitter, so you know it's true, that he's been shooting 1,000 threes per practice. He knocks down 40% of them in practice, shooting by himself. I'm just saying. Blake Griffin, no, not really an amazing three-point shooter, but he knocks it down for them every now and then. He shot, what, 35%? Reggie Jackson, when healthy, it's like always a okay three-point shooter. Reggie Bullock, he was like a league leader last year. Ish Smith, no. Zaza, no. Glenn Robinson, I think he can knock it down. Stanley Johnson, no. John Lure, when healthy, can do it. Langston, Luke Kennard shot 41% last season. So I feel like, I don't know, man. I don't feel like floor spacing is that big of an issue with this team. Like, yeah, it's an issue, but not like, it's not going to be like the end-all of everything. All right, Miami Heat. This one could very well change by the time you watch this video, or maybe you're watching this a few days after. And this is dwindling star power. Well, there's talks of them getting Jimmy Butler. So if they do, then they're fine. Let's move on. Minnesota Timberwolves. This one I totally agree with, and that is internal disconnect. And a lot of that can be drawn up to the whole Jimmy Butler fiasco going on, or that went on. I feel like once he's off here, this team has a better direction, and that is building around their young players. You know, their 22-year-old Karl Anthony Towns, their 23-year-old Andrew Wiggins. That's really all we got for young players, I guess. Okay, they got 2 young players, but that was the biggest issue, is that just the veterans and the young bloods was not really meshing all that well. All right, now we have finally the last team. It's probably like a 20-hour minute video. 20-hour minutes? That's a thing, right? No, that's not. We have the Portland Trail Blazers, and that is over-reliance on difficult shots. So I pretty much, what I think this comes down to is just like Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum creating shots for themselves. And sometimes not taking the most efficient shot, but taking the shot, because who else is going to shoot him, right, man? Nurkic, you can do your thing out there, but you're more of a traditional post-up center. They might not know he averaged 20 points per game last season. Aminu, more of a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. Seth Curry, not really a create-his-own shot kind of guy. So, yeah, man, there definitely are some decent shooters on this team now that they did add. It's just a matter of running plays and getting those guys involved instead of Damian Lillard, just pulling up a triple team or something like that. But anyway, hope you guys all did enjoy this video. These are a lot of fun to make, so I do appreciate you guys watching and, dropping that support. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Remember, the article is in the link in the description if you want to read it there.